everyone, and welcome to another Virtual WaterWise workshop. My name is Isabella. Last time we talked about watersheds and how those tie into our first video, on the water cycle. Today we'll be talking about storm drains. Hey, what are you doing?
Uh, well, this stuff is kind of nasty, and I'm done with it. I was just getting rid of it.
Well, it's important to find the proper place to dispose of your waste instead of just putting it wherever. That way, you can be sure you're not harming the environment.
Well, I was just pouring it down the sewer. That didn't seem like a bad way to get rid of something that I didn't want any longer.
Well, that is not a sewer. It is a storm drain. Do you know what that is and why it's different from a sewer?
Huh? Storm drains. Storm is rain, and so I guess it probably is a place where rain drains.
Yes. Do you know what a watershed is?
Yeah, sure. A watershed is an area of land where when the rain falls on that part of the land, all the rain flows and collects into the lower spots in that land, into the lakes and rivers, and that area is called a watershed.
Yes, exactly. Well, you can think of a storm drain as a man-made part of the watershed.
Hmm.
Rainwater collects in the storm drains, flows through a pipe and into a nearby body of water, which is home to lots of wildlife.
How is that different than a sewer?
That is a very good question. Storm drains are different from sewers because storm drains simply redirect rainwater from one area where humans don't want it to a nearby body of water that is home to lots of wildlife. Sewers, on the other hand, take the waste that's in them and treat it before putting it back into the environment.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's kind of confusing. I'll bet people mix them up all the time.
Yes, unfortunately, they do. And can you think of any problems that this might cause?
Well, just like here, if you pour waste or you put waste in the storm drains, then the waste is going to end up in the environment just along with the stormwater.
Yes, that's a very good point, and that's why it's so important to understand what happens when we put waste into the environment. Do you know what it's called when people do that?
Sure, that's pollution.
Littering, when people throw their trash into the world around them, is one thing that can harm the river and the wildlife. There are also other forms of pollution that can get into the rivers, like soap with phosphates inside, fertilizer, which is used to make plants grow on your lawn, pet waste, and oil and gas from cars.
Whoa. So what you're saying is that if I walk my dog and I don't pick up after him, then that can end up down in the storm drain and polluting the lakes and rivers as well.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it's so important to understand the little things in our everyday lives that can harm the environment around us. Even something as small as washing your car on the driveway could have an impact if you use the wrong type of soap. If that soap gets into the river through the storm drain, it can cause a problem.
Hmm.
Something as simple as moving your car off of the driveway or road onto the grass can help to filter those bad things out before the water gets into the river.
I see. Um, One other question I had. Sometimes I've seen these storm drains in the street, and there's these little green and blue circles. What do those mean?
Those are signs to let people know that the storm drains are not places to drop their waste.
Well, wow, I sure learned a lot today about storm drains, what they are, and probably more importantly, what they're not. Um, and I think it's been helpful because now I have a much better idea about how to do things so that I'm not polluting without knowing it. And I think a lot of people are probably confused by those things. So I'm going to have to make sure and talk it up with people and make sure that they're doing the right things as well.
That's great. I'm so glad you learned something. Thank all of you for watching too. I hope you enjoyed the video today, another virtual WaterWise workshop. Be sure to check out the activities on the website and ask questions if you have any.